Then, one evening, he summons you with a nod instead of a command. You kneel and you obey.
Like, your life as a pleasure slave.
You're 15, and the desert sun burns your back as the ship docks along the Nile. They brought you here in silence, your wrists bound with a rope that still carries the scent of the last girl who wore it, the one who didn't survive the journey.
Like, it's crazy, right? Back in the day, girls were being taken as slaves at 15 years. How can you actually take a 15-year-old girl and put her on a ship, travel her across the globe for her to go and work as a sex slave? That's crazy.
You came from the mountains far south, where the trees bloom thick and the air smells of rain. But this place is different. This place is dry and blinding. The wind stings with dust, and even the river looks tired. They march you inland towards Wasset, where columns rise like teeth and nobles dressed in linen so white it hurts to look at. You're one of the
Like, wait, this looks like Egypt. Like, where were they getting these slaves? Were they getting them from South Africa or from Southern Africa and traveling with them up north? Like, because I thought like they were getting the slaves from Africa and going across the globe, like to other, countries not in Africa. But I'm seeing Egyptian pyramids right here. So this means this must be Africa.
five that were sold together, inspected one by one under an awning while men with shaved heads scribble your height, your hips, and your price.
Like, this is so funny, man. Imagine being the one, like, writing down every specifics about the girl on a piece of paper. And, like, when you get to the youths and you're like, ooh la la, I want that one for myself. These girls are 15 years old. What the fuck are you even thinking?
You're stripped bare before strangers, the heat pressing against your skin like a second weight. A woman scrubs you with rough cloth, then rubs oil along your spine and dusts your...
What even is this, bro? Why are they even scrubbing oil on her back? Like, are you diddy or something? For the fact that the one rubbing her back is a woman, how could you?
chest with crushed flour powder, making your body a display. They don't speak to you directly, only about you. This one will serve in the private quarters.
Like, what do you mean? This one will serve in the private quarters, man. This is crazy. A 15-year-old girl to serve in the private quarters? Who is she serving? And who is going to be in the private quarters, man? Have some shame, bro. Just hearing about this, I get to realize how privileged girls nowadays are.
Word says, and that night you sleep in a side room near the master's bath. You're told not to speak or eat unless given permission. You're not...
What? You cannot speak? You cannot eat? Like, what about if you had a dream about your master dying? You're trying to save his life and you're not allowed to speak.
Not to be seen outside.
Oh
Neither
my
are you
God.
here to clean or serve wine or pour water for guests. Your place? Beside his bed. You're now Hema, and your value has nothing to do with your thoughts. You're 17, and you've learned how to smile without meaning it. You walk the halls like a shadow now, quiet, perfumed, and invisible unless wanted. The master is a nobleman, distant blood to Pharaoh, rich enough to own 2 pleasure slaves and a library. His wife is...
Back in the day, having a 15-year-old or 17-year-old slave was seen as a flex. Come on, guys. Back in the day, it was pretty rough.
beautiful, cruel, and always watching. When you serve
Yeah.
dates or wine during banquets, she pretends you aren't real. But you see her knuckles tighten when he looks too long in your direction. Still, she's...
How is this even possible? There are girls who are working also as slaves in this so-called master's house, and they're getting jealous of another girl getting the master's attention. Like, what are you getting jealous for? Oh my God.
nothing because she can. He owns you, and you belong to the household, not the marriage. He touches your arm during prayer, slides his hand along your back.
This must be the freakiest thing ever, bro. Like, how come you are praying and yet you are touching a woman while you're busy praying, rubbing her back, thinking about, going and doing some naughty things while you're praying?
Back when no one's watching. Then, one evening, he summons you with a nod instead of a command. You kneel and you obey.
Like, why does this give me weird thoughts? Kneeling down and gobbling it up? No, I'm just kidding.
His linen robe smells of papyrus
I'm
and
just
resin.
kidding.
His hands are soft and his words are practiced. When it's over, he hands you a pomegranate seed and says the gods are pleased. You nod, though you don't understand which god would want this. Weeks
Like,
later,
in what world would God want you to have a pomegranate seed after having deep-throated the master? Like, I'm just kidding, yo.
your stomach
My
turns in
thoughts
the
are
morning.
weird, bro, but
You
like,
drop a tray
there's-
and don't...
But there's nothing like that. God wouldn't want that.
Don't hear it fall. The housemaid notices, presses her hand to your belly, and tells you not to be afraid, that this can save you. You ask what she means, but she only says to pray he wants to keep it. A few months pass and your stomach swells beneath the linen. Two other servants
Yo, she's pregnant with the master's kid. Come
start
on, man.
giving you space, some offering bread or dates or a softer spot to rest. They don't say it.
Oh, so basically, once you get the master child, you're pregnant. Now you are like a queen in this household. All these other work girls or whatever slaves are just respecting you now. They're giving you space in the hallway. I would understand back in the day, it would have been such an advantage, to actually get pregnant with the master child.
But they know. When the master sees you, he raises an eyebrow, then laughs, telling you that you'll name it after him, and then leaves the room before you could respond. You begin to understand what the housemaid meant. You're no longer a thing passed around at his will. You are now Walad, the mother of his child. He declares
What? Walad? That sounds like British.
it publicly and proudly, as though the child were something he had carefully planned. Your chains do not disappear, but they shift.
How can you chain a pregnant girl? At this stage, she's a pregnant woman. These people are actually heartless, man. You cannot chain a 15-year-old girl.
Cannot be sold or traded now. You still serve, still kneel, still smile.
Oh my god. You're still kneeling even though you're pregnant? Hey, have some mercy on.
When asked to, but there's something different in how they look at you. Your belly is no longer shameful. It is power, temporary and fragile, yet it is yours. The wife pretends not to notice, though her coldness sharpens. When she enters a room, you lower your eyes. She does not speak to you, but once she passes close and whispers that he will tire of you and to just wait. Then she keeps walking, her gold bracelets clinking like tiny knives. You're 18 and the baby is born on a stone floor.
In most scenarios, like those masters and wives give birth to girl child. So I'm saying, at least that's what I see in movies. They give birth to girl child, and slaves give birth to male child, and masters tend to love girls who give birth to male child, so that they can have an heir to the throne.
With only the housemaid and a midwife present. A boy. His skin is soft and golden, with curls
That's what I was saying. Boys,
already forming at the crown of his head. He cries the moment he touches air. Then again when they place him on your chest. The midwife smiles and says he has strong lungs, that he will live. You want to believe her. You want to believe you both will. The master visits that night. He holds the child like he has never touched anything so small.
Man, enough with these jokes, bro. Like, you touch the baby like he's never touched anything small. Oh my god.
Son. He calls it a good omen. He leaves before sunrise, but his perfume still lingers on the linen. They give you a room near the back of the estate. Besides,
At least now, you're getting a room with a bed. You're getting those amenities of actually having like the master's child.
the kitchens. It's small and hot, but it is yours. The housemaid helps you recover, showing how to wrap your belly, how to nurse, and how to keep the baby quiet when the mistress is nearby. She tells you
What? The baby isn't supposed to cry when the mistress is nearby. How can you control like when a baby is supposed to be crying or when a baby is supposed to be laughing?
to stay useful, that it'll keep you safe. You ask if that is always true, but she does not answer. The child grows, first crawling, then standing. His laugh sounds like freedom, yet you never forget. You are still property. Every day you live is one breath away from punishment, one heartbeat away from loss. If the master changes his mind, if the wife decides to speak, if the wind shifts in the
Like, if you guys think about it, it's actually scary, just living at the mercy of someone's thoughts. The master could wake up after having a bad dream of maybe you doing something wrong, or maybe you trying to poison him. He could have you instantly out of that beach like that.
wrong direction, your protection will vanish. And
Yeah.
then there will be only a child with no name and a woman with no rights.
Exactly.
You're 21, and your son runs through the gardens like he
Wow.
owns the land. The guards don't stop him, and the servants smile when he passes. He's your son, but he's also his father's. And that means something here. He eats honey cakes from silver plates, wears linen dyed in saffron, and sleeps with carved amulets meant to keep evil spirits away. You watch from the corner of the courtyard, holding a basket of laundry, while he chases dragonflies under the shaded date palms. The master comes to see him often, but not you. He nods
At this point, you have to start realizing like you are not important. You're just someone who's there to please the master. Even though the child is yours, you cannot get the benefits that come with the child. The child is the one that's going to get the benefit. Maybe when the child grows up to become a king, that's when you start, at least getting privileges.
when you bow. He doesn't touch you anymore. Not since the mistress found religion and demanded new boundaries. You should be relieved, but the silence feels like punishment too. You remain in the shadows, quietly washing the clothes of the woman who calls you a mistake. At night, when your son curls into your lap and asks why the other children won't play with him, you say, because they're jealous. You don't tell him it's because he doesn't belong anywhere. Not fully a slave, not fully free. You wonder if he'll hate you for that one day. You're 25 and you know how to avoid the mistress's eyes now. You take the back stairs, you keep your voice soft, and you've taught your son not to run indoors, not to sing too loud, not to look directly at her. It works, but only for a while. One morning, when he bumps her vase with a stick and it crashes to the floor, she screams. He freezes and you rush in too fast, grab him too hard, apologize too quickly. She stands over both of you, trembling with rage. She calls him wild, like his mother. Her hand rises, but it's the steward who stops her, not out of kindness, but because the master has made it known that the boy is his.
Yeah, that's like when differences start to arise, like serious differences, because she wants to give him a beating, and now the steward is coming and saying like, hell no, you're not supposed to do that. The master told us nobody can lay hands on this boy.
You thank the steward with your eyes, but he does not look back. Later that week, the master summons you. He says nothing at first, only staring at your son as he sleeps on a mat in the room. He declares that the boy will go to school, that he will learn the scribe's tongue. You nod, grateful, yet terrified. School means exposure, eyes on him, questions, and records. When he leaves, he pats your shoulder as if you are a dog that has done something well. You remain standing long after the door closes, your hands trembling, not from fear, but from something far more dangerous. Hope. You're 30 and the house has grown quiet.
Wow, all them other girls should be dead or pretty old, because like this girl came in as a 15-year-old, now she's 30.
The mistress no longer speaks above a whisper. Her health is failing, and her servants tread carefully, as if afraid the sound of their footsteps might finish what illness started. Your son is now nearly a man, taller than you. He reads aloud to the master in the evenings, voice steady, fingers stained with ink. He speaks like a noble now, and eats like one too. But when he sees you, his face softens. You're still his mother, even if you're still a slave. You're Walad now, a mother of a child the master has claimed. It means they can't sell you. It means the women in the market look at you differently. Not with pity, not with scorn, but with something closer to fear. Because you stayed, you rose, and you survived. The master grows old. His gait is slow, his words more brittle than before. One morning, a servant finds him cold on the floor beside his bed. The house falls into stillness. There's wailing,
The master died?
ceremony, and then there is freedom. Not for everyone, but for you. Because under Egyptian law, a slave who bore her master's child and whose child was recognized can become free when the master dies. That was the rule. That was the contract. You say nothing until the steward brings the papers and tells you the words you've waited your entire life to hear. You are no longer owned. You're 34 and the garden no longer smells like fear. You still live in the house, but now you sleep in a room with a door that locks from the inside. You wear linen that isn't assigned. Your name is on records and not just your body. Your son walks with you through the market, holding your arm, not because he must, but because he chooses to. The same men who once passed you without a glance now bow politely.
Like, wait, isn't it also Egyptian law that the son of the king becomes the king, or maybe there were other older sons who became king in front of him, so he would have to wait for his turn. But if that's not the case, then the mother, the slave who gave birth to the boy, is now actually mother of a king. That's what I was saying. That's when you actually start to get those privileges, when your son becomes older, you know.
Lightly. Some even ask if you need help with your basket. The mistress was taken away to a distant cousin's home. No one speaks her name anymore, and her steward has left. The new master, your son, has other ideas about power, about kindness, about legacy. One night, you open a small wooden box beneath your bed. Inside is the thin bracelet your mother gave you before they sold you. You hadn't looked at it in years. You run your fingers along the faded etchings. You remember her voice, her tears, and her hope that maybe life would still offer something more. Now, you live in a house where no one owns your body, where no one calls you girl or property or slave. You eat what you like, you rise when you choose, you walk freely, and for the first time in decades, you sleep deeply.
But if there are any girls watching this video, I want to ask you a question. Would you have survived? And if it's your first time on this channel, man, this is my second video ever on this channel. Go ahead and subscribe, and also make sure you like the video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.